Enjoy art, language, culture? Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to explore the September Creative Memories September virtual crop sketch number 4 as we record some photos from a special museum that we went to in Ireland that was all about preserving language and heritage and culture. And they had a special cottage. Yeah, sorry, that didn't sound right in my ear. Set up for us to visit, for anyone to visit, as well as examples of art created by local artists and other examples of different language and things like that. I don't know if you're familiar with Gaelic, but Gaelic is the Irish language, and super, super interesting. So I hope that this is something that will interest you. I think this turns out really cute, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. Also, just a couple of quick reminders. If you haven't already registered for my virtual CROPTOBERFEST, we're doing 4 lessons during that CROPTOBERFEST, and it should be a lot of fun. Everything is going to be recorded so that you can access it anytime you want. So you don't have to be with me all day if you have other things you need to get done. So it should be really fun, and I hope it'll be something you'll enjoy. And the other thing I wanted to remind you about was December days. For December days, we are going to be working for 2 months, once a week, every Monday night. And if Monday night's not convenient for you, we're going to record the lessons so you can access them whenever it's convenient for you. All right, so it should be super, super fun, and I'm super excited. I've been working on the pages, not creating the pages, but drawing the pages, and my idea is out so that we can, so that I can start getting right on top of that as soon as we have our holiday collection come out, and hopefully that's soon, so that I can get to creating for you. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to my workspace so that we can get started on this week's virtual crop sketch. All right, this is my workspace for today. And you'll recognize this as the last, the right-hand side of the layout that we did on Wednesday, I think it was. It was the last, when that last video will air for you, is on a Wednesday. So today we are going to work on another virtual crop sketch, and this is going to be sketch number 4 from September, and we are going to modify this just a little bit because, again, my photos, I want to be able to fit them, and I have a couple that are vertical rather than horizontal, so I need to kind of try to accommodate those. So we're going to see what it's going to take to be able to make that happen. So I have adjusted a couple things, and we are going to get started with that. I've got my permanent and repositionable adhesive out, and my multi-purpose tool, which is like my best buddy. And I've got a few pieces of paper. Some of them are scraps and some of them are not. But they are beautiful pieces of paper that I wanted to make sure worked in my album. So this is what I've got. I've got this green piece, which if you have, I think this came from an Australia paper pack. So my Aussie friends will recognize that, but the color is going to work well in this on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and use it on here. And I don't think that it will be noticeable that it actually is meant for an Australian paper pack. Yep, definitely Australia. Anyway, so just something to keep in mind, when you look at theme packs that might be for places that you've never been to, you might still be able to use it. I had these two pieces from another layout we did a long time back, and I thought they would be cool to add to this layout. Very traditional, and I haven't yet decided which side I like best, but we're going to have to decide because they're going to go on this page. So, I don't know. I'm actually leaning towards the Celtic knotwork rather than the plaid, which would be okay because we've used the plaid in a lot of places and not this one very much. And the photos that are going on here are very much a heritage kind of theme. So maybe we should go with that. I think that's good. All right, so that's decided. That's clever. All right, so this layout you can see has kind of two frames going on. It's got the outside edge of the page, and then it's got this darker kind of interior frame, and then a lighter mat that goes around the photos, and then an actual mat that is around the photos. So there's lots of layers to this, and you could conceivably gut the middle out of your pages that you're using just to make this a little bit lighter on your page. So we may look at doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this darker piece that goes out here. Instead of that being 10 by 9, which is what the recipe or the sketch recommends, I'm going to change that and make that an 11 by 10. That means that it's going to be, let's see, they've got it 10 by 9 so that it's 10 inches high, but 11, sorry. They've got it 10 inches high and 9 inches wide. I'm going to make mine 11 inches high and 10 inches wide. So that's going to be a little bit different. So if we make this outside frame 11 inches tall and 10 inches wide, we're going to make this inside frame 10 inches tall and 9 inches wide, so that the proportions are correct. But I can't really adjust this one too much. So let's measure. Let's see how wide this is. So this is going to be almost 9 inches. And that would be the height. And it is a little over 10 inches wide, so we can trim that down just a little bit. So that's actually going to be just fine. We'll fix it. All right. So let me grab my trimmer and let's do a few adjustments, and then we'll be good to go. This one should come together pretty quickly. Okay, so this beautiful paper right here with these beautiful little clovers and shamrocks on it is this is from Reminisce. I got this from scrapbook.com, and it's part of the Luck of the Irish collection, and it's just super pretty. I just really, really like this paper. So, it's got to go in the album because. So we're going to use it sideways like this, and I need this to be, we said 10 inches wide. So let's move our arm out, move the arm out, and we're going to cut this at 10 inches this way. And then we are going to cut this, we need it to be 11 inches this way. So I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off the top and 1/2 inch off the bottom in order to keep the design as centered as possible. 1/2 inch off the top, 1/2 inch off the bottom, And there is that piece. Then this piece is going to go on top of it. And I'm going to just make a mark where this one needs to proportionally be trimmed. So we're just going to trim it right there, which is an inch, I don't know, like 1 3/8 inches. 1 3/8. I'm going to just make the straight edge as straight as I can. And we will trim that off. And put that in there just like that. Now, I can go ahead and gut the center of this, which is probably a good idea because we're going to have a lot of weight on this page otherwise. So let's measure, let's do a 2-inch. Let's do a 2-inch frame. And I'm going to measure here at 2 inches, and I'm going to start my cut 2 inches up from the bottom so that I don't go too far. Same thing, only the opposite direction this way. I'm going to measure that out at 2 inches and start my cut at the 2-inch mark and cut forward. Then I'm going to measure 2 inches here at the bottom, or in our case on the side, the bottom of our U. I'm going to start my cut at 2 inches, bring it down and stop it at 2 inches. Then we've got a little bit more of our paper we can conserve and utilize. And this will cover that bit right there. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing to this side, and then we will be good to go. You start by trimming off this edge. Then we are going to cut this down to 10 inches. Then we're going to cut a 1/2 inch off the top and a 1/2 inch off the bottom. All right, come on, why is that not straight? Here we go. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make this a 2-inch frame. So we're going to start cutting at the 2-inch mark here and cut forward. Start cutting here 2 inches up from the bottom and cut forward. Turn it and measure this at 2 inches again. Start cutting at the 2-inch mark and cut down to the 2-inch mark. And we are good to go. There's that piece. And then rather than measuring that, let's go ahead and we'll just go ahead and cut this. Okay. So now we've got both of those pieces and this piece. Now we do need a little bit more going on. We have a ribbon that we've got tending across there, and that's what this light green paper is going to be. So we're going to utilize that. I'm going to cut that at 1 inch. And then we're going to, let's see, I'm going to cut this in half, and we're going to hope that it's long enough. If it's not long enough, I got plenty of paper I can come back to and cut another one. But I think that will be sufficient. And we'll cut those into a ribbon. So I'm going to need that for some mats. Let's go ahead and secure these on our pages. So these are the 2 pages we're going to use. Here's the last page of the last layout we did. I'm going to go ahead and start with that left-hand side of the page. I need one of those, one of these. Doesn't really matter which one. I'm going to go ahead and get my, look at this side. Isn't it super cute with all the horseshoes and the pipe and the pot of gold. Super fun, very cute. All right. So this is going to be roughly a 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom. The trick is going to be getting it to lay nice and flat. We don't have any buckling. This piece, we're just going to center this. Like so. All right, so there's that. We need to go ahead and make this into a flag, so I'm going to put my corners together. And we can and this needs to go underneath the photos that are going to be placed on it. So we're going to put this about a 1/2 inch up from the bottom of, that's more of a 1/4 of an inch from that arch, but closer to 3/4 of an inch for the swell. So we're just going to call that good. Put it right there. Okay, now we're going to switch and go ahead and do this one. And this one will be easier in a little bit of a sense because we're just going to line it up with the one on the other page. So that will be slightly easier. All right. So I'm going to line these two papers or these two pages up, and then should be fairly easy. Should being the operative word there. Should be fairly easy to line those up. Not too bad. This one feels crooked, so I may have to lift that one up because that's gonna bug me. Does it bug you when things like that happen? And when you look at the layout, all you see is where you didn't line it up correctly. All right. There's that one. Okay, and then we're going to do this quick little ribbon. This one's going to go in the same place. Let me try and put it in the same place. All right, like that. Okay, those are the core components of this layout, as you can see. Now we just need to go ahead and add our photos, and I need to mat a few of them. So let's get that done. And then this layout is all but finished. And we only have one more two-page layout and the last page. I can hardly believe it. Can you believe it? I can hardly believe it. Then we're going to do titles, and I'm going to show you how I do my titles so that you have that info as a reference to guide you if you are looking for guidance. Not everyone is. Sometimes you're very happy doing exactly what you're doing, which is totally fine. But in case you're curious, come on now. In case you're curious, I will share and let you know how I do mine. And you can incorporate it or not, whatever makes you happy. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, this picture is going to, or this peekaboo is going to get adapted as soon as I have access to my my vacuum seal again. Because right now I don't have access to it because my whole craft room is torn up except for what you have seen in the intro and behind me. So excited for my new digs, but I have to be patient. I'm trying to be patient. All right, so we've got these two, and you'll notice we've got two horizontal photos in our example. I have a vertical and a horizontal on each of these pages, a vertical and a horizontal, and that's okay because my photos are just going to fit a little different, and that is okay. Those are going to go on roughly like so. We might lower these down just a hair just to be able to bring these down. Some too. So they're not off the charts. Okay. And then we'll add some embellishments here and here. And maybe something else up here. Let's see what I can come up with for that. I went through all of my embellishments and all of my papers and pulled out everything that I had not used. And so now I have not a whole lot left. I have a few things. Let's see what we can add to this that will make some kind of sense. Okay, so these are the Totally Tonal Leaves collection, and I just have really enjoyed using them in this album. They have added a splash of blue or brown or different things when I needed it, which has been really, really lovely. And I think we're going to use these leaves in this layout because I think we need to. Let's see. We're going to separate out a couple more of these. Good life. We could actually add one of these great big shamrocks in on either side there. Maybe more up like that. What do you think? We could do like that. I feel like adding a little touch of blue would be a good thing. We could add these little guys in kind of on the edge. Should bring a little bit of blue kind of out to the edge, which I like. Add a little heart to the middle there. And maybe that will be enough. I need an area where I can journal, and obviously there is not really a clear space to journal. We can journal on this outer edge out here. That would work. Or I could tuck some journaling in underneath the photo, which is also a possibility. I'm going to spread these bottom ones out just a little so they cover my edge of my ribbon. And maybe that will mean that we move these over also, which I think wouldn't hurt. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get these adhered. All right, so I believe that is going to do it for us today. Let me show you, or let me tell you just a little bit about the photos that are on this page before I let you go. I made a note for myself. This is Gaelic, and it stands for the Pierce's Cultural Center Cottage. Ionad Cultura an, I can't pronounce this, Fierces? And that's not right, because Gaelic is not pronounced anything like it looks. So I'm sorry, but that's not right. But anyway, this is the Patrick Pierce's Cultural Center Cottage, and it's full of art and beautiful things. Here's great representations of the Irish flag that are flown out front, and this is some photos taken at the cottage. I'll have to fix my pictures because they are not in here correctly for the way the peekaboo pockets are designed. But the cultural cottage where they can teach about Irish culture to the elementary school kids. This was just a kind of a representation of how we all felt. We were all just happy but exhausted. It was that happy exhaustion that comes from the enjoyment of a wonderful vacation that kept us hopping. And this is a beautiful and amazing painting. Can you see these people who are rowing? They're not rowing in a boat. They're just rowing in the ocean. And I don't think they're necessarily meant to be people. They just sort of look like people holding oars in the middle of the water. And this is about the artist who created this painting. From what I believe, I didn't take the pictures, but I believe that's what this is. And this particular artist was still in school, still learning about her craft, and yet had already been given many accolades and honors, and was being featured at the cultural center at that time. And this is us when we were done and climbing back onto our bus for one of the last times. We are going to go spend the night at the Park Hotel and get up the next morning and drive to Dublin, where we would get on an airplane the next day. So that's kind of what's coming. We have not much left of this trip, and I know some of you are happy to hear that, because you're not into Ireland, but I hope that my hope is that by doing the sketches for the virtual crop and different things, that you will still be able to get something out of these layouts, even if you're not interested in the photos. So I hope that that's been the case, but we'll talk more about that next time. And yeah, I hope this has been enjoyable for you. Please let me know in the comments, and let me know what you might like to see in the future as I'm planning for what comes next. Thanks so much. I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Take care now.